Hey friends, it's Bill, the writing doctor here, and I wanted to share an idea with you to help students understand point of view. Point of view. Actually two of the short constructed responses I'm going to show you in this video lost the point in revising because the student, instead of writing in first person on both, they chose to write in third person, and one of them, not only did they shift the point of view, they added content that changed the meaning of the sentence of the original sentence. And so when you're doing a Texas short constructed response, you can't change the meaning or change the content to the point where it shifts the meaning completely. All right. So the cool thing about point is you're holding up one finger. That's first person. I, flip your finger upside down with three fingers down there. Me, flip it back up. We, and then make a U for us. That's the first person point of view. And because the passage the paragraph, the sentence was in first person, the response has to be also in first person in order to not significantly change the meaning and thus the content. Okay. When I said view, that's two fingers. And so second person is you talking basically to the reader or whoever the audience is there that's present. Okay. So the last one is third person. Okay. That third person, if you can think of this O as somebody other than who's here in the room with us right now. Not me, somebody outside of this situation that we're talking about. So third person is basically you can make a T or you can make a little T, third person. They're either up there or over there or back there. They're just not right here. So let me show you the response the student gave, but I did want to remind those of you who have already seen Mrs. PVC and asked for the copies, because these are free. I'll make them free for one more week if you email me at writing_doctor@yahoo.com. Because the meaning was changed based on the shifting point of view, they both switched from first person, I, me, we, us, to third person, people that are not here. It changed the content enough that they added to change the meaning and lose the point. So let's take a look at both of them. All right. So this activity that I showed you was what I call the fingers focus. Who's the focus in the sentence in terms of point of view? All right. So in 20 minutes, no capital, it appears, yeah, but they don't penalize you for editing. Remember, in a Texas short constructed response, capital for some reason, all of a sudden, they, third person, finished the race and his brother was on his side. Okay, so it's pretty much the same content, but according to this guideline, when you do shift from first person I, it was supposed to be I finished the race and my brother was by my side. And so since that's third person, then you would not earn the point. Okay. The other one is pretty similar. His brother, his brother, uh, dad and his brother. Okay. So there's a couple of things here. First of all, the third person is not helpful. The second thing is that content they added, his dad motivate high to keep on going. Well, that wasn't, there was nothing about his dad, nothing about motivating, nothing about him keeping on going. That content right there switched the meaning of the sentence, and there was no emotional connection. Was so proud of him. Uh, it wasn't talking about feelings. And so I drew a little heart there so the kids can remember, it doesn't take an artist to just draw a little heart around emotional words so your kids can remember that. So what's happening here is it's like they were adding pieces of a different puzzle. Uh, and so I used my red highlighter because of the content or meaning that was changed. The other thing, when you're combining sentences, I've already said this, you cannot make a run on. So listen to me um, as I pause right here where this wall is, where there should have been a stop sign. Shift his brother and his dad. So a teachable moment of instruction would be to remove the repetition, his brother and dad, my brother and dad, but we need to leave dad out of this scenario. Motivate Hai to keep on going, and 20 minutes later, he finished the race. My brain made me pause. And so if your students will read out loud what I call solo, and I'll write that down for you in my binder, my STAR 2.0 binder. There's a little boy there that talks about the visual, the verbal, the auditory, kinesthetic that keeps the score being from going from so low to so high. And so when kids are reading, one thing you might tell them is there's two ways to read. In a testing situation, you can read softly where you're whispering. In fact, in Texas, you're allowed to use a whisper phone. It's an accessibility feature that anybody's allowed to use. If you're talking with the whole class, you can read loudly. If you're working in a group or if one person is reading to the class, what I suggest so that people are paying attention in class is if one person or group is reading loudly, LO, you have the rest of the class read softly. And so winners move three things. They're tracking with their eyes, their pencil, or their mouse on the keyboard, and their mouth by opening their mouths. Okay. And so um, because you want to multitask, especially in secondary, make sure you address the idea of the shift button that was pushed here where it was not needed, the shift that wasn't pushed, the punctuation that was not at the end, um, the capital letter that was there, but shifting point of view. So that's what I have for the last fourth grade responses that got zeros. And again, no matter what situation that they throw at us, you're going to be able to use Mrs. PVC to help with the process of elimination because even if it's multiple choice, the only thing that you won't really um, accept is this one here, that it won't be the answer that's the best revision or the combining of sentences or repetition. Uh, it won't be a synonym or something that means the same or is similar. It will be the exact same content on multiple choice. And the other thing that a multiple choice answer will be different on is the cups, the capitalization, usage, punctuation, spelling have to be accurate on the answer choice because adults uh, created the four responses, and typically you're going to select one. sometimes two, and eliminate three. So in my next reading writing video, I'll be sharing with you how to um, analyze the fourth grade responses that got the point. Like, what did they do correctly in Mrs. PBC? The meaning, is something missing? Is there repetition? Is there a run-on? Is the subject the same? Is the student being specific to what was being talked about, written about? PBC, is the predicate uh, intact, the original predicate? Is the point of view uh, different? Back to the S for a second, in open-ended, uh, if they use a synonym, does it mean something the same or similar? And if so, that's fine. Um, the V of Mrs. PVC, the what verb tense is it? Present tense, point down, past tense, point behind me, or future tense, pointing in front. Your kids can just move their hand as they're reading. Now, whatever their writing hand is, if they're doing paper, then have them do those little kinesthetic movements with their other hand. Since most students use a mouse when they're using computer, like I think 99% of the time the mouse is to their right, so they'll be using their left hand to do some of these kinesthetic movements that I'm sharing with you. So, um, is the answer, is their response too vague? Did it take away content to the point where something important was missing? So the last one is, of course, is the point of view, sorry, the cups. Um, in a multiple choice, you do need good capitalization, uses, punctuation, and sentence boundaries. And in an open-ended, the only time that they penalize your students on short constructed is if they ask your kids to combine the sentences, and the sentence boundary issue where there's a run-on. Every single time I've seen in all the grade levels, they don't let the student get that point because you cannot combine two sentences effectively and clearly according to the directions uh, by switching to complete thoughts to a run-on where you never stop. So thanks so much for watching. Please like, share the video, and as always, post something in the comment section that you feel will help you on this one so I can get some engagement and really, I think there's just a lot of teachers out there struggling and they just need ideas. They need a different perspective because I've heard so many people tell me they go to trainings and then they get absolutely nothing new. It's like regurgitated information. No, like I had one uh, kind of funny story. Um, when I go to a school or a district, we typically take a break, sometime in the middle of the morning around 9:30, 10 o'clock, depending on when we start. And this one person in this district, they were not allowing any consultants, any independent consultants from outside the campus or district. And I think this is the biggest mistake if you're an administrator or some district leadership, the biggest mistake you can make by only taking from within. Sometimes people that are not with you have a different perspective that gets great results. So during the break that morning in that district, this one teacher came up to me and said, "Mr. McDonald, I've learned more in your training in these first 30 minutes for STAR 2.0 than I have in my campus slash district in the last 3 years." And I would imagine that she was hyperbolizing, exaggerating a little bit, but hopefully this helps you guys. Make sure you follow me because every day I'm gonna post one reading slash writing, one math because I'm a math consultant as well, one fate post because uh, I'm writing a book called Praising You in the Mountains and Trusting You in the Valleys, a Psalms 23 journey to and through the valley of the shadow of death. And then one on motivating students, classroom management and discipline. That book that I'm working on is called How to Turn Their Horns into Halos. How can we make students be better equipped to be successful in today's classroom, especially in the culture that we live in? So in that book, there's a lot of things that are student driven and directed, and some that are written to help teachers, some involve parents and administration. So um, go ahead and follow me if you're into any of those four things, because that's what I'm going to be using this um, social media platform for. You know, right now I'm talking to my TikTok audience, but uh, each time that I post something to one social media platform, I also post it to, you know, Facebook and to Twitter and to my YouTube page. So depending on which method that you like hanging out with the most, I'll be there. So just message me if you have a question. Look forward to hearing from you. If you like some of the contents, the materials that I use, email me at the word writing and then underscore the underline symbol, doctor spelled out DOCTOR at yahoo.com. And I'd be happy to send you a couple of links to some of the products that are just very inexpensive and that will be very helpful to you and your students. God bless you guys and goodbye.